Hello everyone and welcome to the Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Care Network. I'm Dean, the host of the N.A.R.C.N Network and channel, and also the host of the Unmasking the Narcissist channel. Today we're going to be talking about some of the stuff to do with narcissists that are kind of on a more... Well, we're going to be having kind of more of a metaphysical discussion in this particular episode. By the way, this is episode 186 on the N.A.R.C.N Network, just to make it clear. And this particular episode has come about because of a discussion I had the other day with another narcissistic expert that I know that assists people after narcissistic abuse. And it comes after something that this person particularly said to me, or a descriptive thing that this person said to me. And this person basically said to me, you know, narcissists are the serial killers of the soul. So that is basically the title of this episode, Narcissists, Serial Killers of the Soul. And when we say this, I understand completely what this other narcissistic expert I was conversing with was talking about. This is a person that is actually on the internet and on YouTube, and out there you guys don't know exactly who I discuss with, but I can tell you there's a few other individuals that I converse with that are on YouTube and other platforms that I do have dialogue with, and we exchange ideas and stuff. I myself, because I'm a very small, person on the internet, talking about narcissistic abuse, I don't necessarily have the same weight as other people who are on YouTube or whatever, who may have, hundreds of thousands of views on their dialogues about narcissism and all the things to do with that. But I have studied narcissism extremely extensively the past 3 years, as well as studying psychology for over 30 years, studying criminal psychology as well when I was young. And this person I was talking to, when they said this particular quote to me, it really made me think for a little while about how this really is true. Narcissists really are killers of the soul. And they do this to so many people. They cause so many people who were previously possibly good people to suddenly end up at a point in their life where they're just completely messed up, and they're almost not even the same people that they were before. And this is very, very sad in a sense, because it's like, it literally reminds me of what happens to soldiers when they go off to war, when they have to see extreme levels of violence and extreme levels of inhumanity, and they come back and they can no longer cope with normal society because they don't know how to cope in normal society after seeing the atrocities that they've witnessed in combat and in their business of being a soldier. Because narcissistic abuse victims become like this too. They become introverted. They become like they go into a shell at times, and they don't know how to get themselves out of there. They don't know how to trust people again for some reason, because the narcissist has caused such traumatizing events to them that they no longer know how to trust people. They don't trust people. They now have an innate thing in them that makes them look for all the worst things that can be going on with a human individual that could affect them or harm them. And this, in a way, desensitizes their mind to being open to somebody who comes into their life who may want to love them in a way that's good and not in a way that a narcissist has done. And this kills people's spirits and kills their souls in many ways. But by comparison, again, as we've talked about in other N.A.R.C.N episodes before, this behavior that the narcissist puts on their victims, this is a behavior that they themselves have learned. This is a hereditary thing carried down, or a behavior thing carried down through individuals around them that have been exposed to them, that have in turn made those narcissists into narcissists because of some traumatic things that have gone on in their lives. That is in no way to say that I condone making an excuse for the narcissist being the way that they are. There isn't actually an excuse for that. Anybody who suffers that type of trauma, should seek real professional attention to try to get past that. But as we know with narcissists live in a self-protective bubble where they don't let anybody in. They're secretive. They have all kinds of things that go on in their lives. They lie to function on a day-to-day basis. They are deceptive. They have turned into little monsters, or have been turned into little monsters by the monsters that actually abuse them. And henceforth, they now take out their monstrous behaviors upon other people around them who may only be there trying to be good to those people or trying to love them or care for them. And these people get whacked in the side of the head with a bunch of chaos and bullshit from these narcissists, and it turns these individuals into messed up individuals themselves, even though they may not have been messed up before that in lots of cases. And this is a spiritual and soul killer to a lot of these individuals who deal with these narcissists, who themselves also have been abused. And because this abuse, when it goes on with a narcissist, causes that narcissist to become very ineffectual, very unfeeling, very much unaffected by certain things that can go on in their lives, in comparison to normal people who feel normally, who emote normally, who function normally, who don't have barriers up, who are open to love with other people and open to being open with other people in these ways. These people suddenly get affected by a narcissist, and this narcissist turns them into this non-functioning person who is paranoid and can't open up to love and can't function normally like they may have before. They have literally stolen this person's soul. And that is very much the truth in this instance. For myself, I try to look along the lines of stuff like this in narcissism in very scientific ways. I try to present very scientific things on my network. I do a lot of research to make sure what I'm telling you guys is accurate information and it's up to date, and it's what cutting edge people who are doing research into narcissism are talking about and researching. And if I am ever wrong on the N.A.R.C.N network, I implore people who catch me in something that might be not accurate to basically call me out and set me straight if they have evidence that contradicts what I know or what I presented on my network. I will always welcome somebody to come in and tell me that perhaps I'm looking at something, maybe not looking at something the wrong way, but maybe I'm presenting the wrong scientific information. And if that ever happens, please, anyone out there that watches me, correct me. I have no problem admitting I'm wrong about something if you can present me with solid evidence that says that what I said might actually be wrong in a scientific manner. That being said, the science of narcissism I try to present here, but I myself am an extremely, extremely spiritual person. Not religious necessarily, but spiritual. And I understand the spiritual weight that narcissists put on people that turns them into people that they once were not. And this had affected me as well in some of the narcissistic events that I had. But because I've done so much research over the past number of years to understand narcissism and to understand narcissists and the way their minds work and stuff, I am not weighted by that anymore. I don't walk around in my life going, oh, everybody is out to get me, or everybody is out to harm me, or I have to watch out for everyone being a narcissist or something of this particular way. I don't think about things in that particular nature. I do have a criteria that I have in my life for anybody who I would want to become romantically involved with in any particular way. And that criteria does help me to detect a person who may have some issues, because I've done so much research on narcissism. I can spot red flags and stuff like this very quickly, very early on, and I'm able to become aware that I may be dealing with someone who may have a bunch of red flags presenting towards me. So I've gotten very good at being able to determine this. I'm not tooting my own horn here, but this is what I've become aware of, and this has actually aided me in the past little while in determining whether or not I may want to become romantically involved with an individual or not, based on the things that I see or the behaviors I see out of that person, and whether or not I see a bunch of indicative red flags that will tell me that this is a person that I perhaps should stay away from because they are presenting with some things that I can identify as being possible narcissistic attributes. But because of this, it hasn't stopped me wanting to look for a romantic partner or anyone of this nature. I don't fear people because I'm aware. I'm very wide awake and very aware of what I'm dealing with individuals here, and because I can spot stuff like this so easily now, it doesn't intimidate me to go looking for romantic interests in this way because I'm not afraid of that. But tons of people, again, have had their souls killed, and they're fearful, terrified of going out there on the dating market because of not being able to trust people because of their narcissistic events that they've had. And it's truly sad that these people now are almost like locked into a cage of fear because they fear that they're going to have this happen again. And this is not to say that this can happen again with them if they haven't educated themselves. You do need to educate yourself on narcissism and educate yourself on what to look for. So if you get into a situation with someone, you can actually detect whether or not you might be dealing with a narcissist, or whether or not this person doesn't have any of these attributes and this is a person that you might want to continue to become involved with. But again, this is an instance where, you know, this person that I was talking to really did coin what they were saying very well, in saying that narcissists are truly spiritual soul killers, and that this is awful to the people that they put this on. But again, they themselves, being narcissists, they have been through this as well too. They themselves have had their souls killed by somebody else who made them what they are, often in many instances here. And what can you expect from a person who has had themselves affected like that? You can usually expect that they will affect other people in the same ways, and this is truly, truly a sad aspect of life. So this is what I just want to talk about here. I just wanted to have like a metaphysical conversation with you here, you guys here. In episode 186, I'm going to say to you guys, please stay tuned. I got lots of new content coming up on the N.A.R.C.N network and also on the Unmasking the Narcissist channel. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll catch you really soon.